What if I told you Islam is the most misunderstood ideology on earth, not because people studied it deeply, but because they never questioned what they were told about it? What if everything you think you know about Islam, violence, women, freedom, science, God, was shaped by headlines, not history? Tonight, Islam is under scrutiny. No emotions. No blind faith. Only questions the world dares to ask, and answers the world avoids hearing. Question 1. Is Islam a violent religion spread by the sword? Answer. Islam spread primarily through trade, ethics and character, not coercion. The Quran states clearly, there is no compulsion in religion, 2:256. Forced belief produces obedience, not faith. Islam demanded conviction. Yes, Islam allows warfare, but so does every civilization that ever survived. The difference: Islam restricted war when others glorified it. No killing civilians, no harming women, children, monks, or crops. Compare that with crusades, colonial conquests, and modern wars sold as freedom. Violence isn't Islamic. Human misuse of power is. Question 2. Is Islam anti-freedom and anti-thinking? Answer. Then why does the Quran repeatedly ask, do you not reflect? Do you not reason? Do you not think? Islam didn't begin with a command to pray. It began with a command to read. While Europe was burning thinkers, Islamic civilization was preserving Aristotle, advancing medicine, algebra, astronomy, optics, and law. Universities existed in the Muslim world centuries before Oxford or Harvard. Islam doesn't fear questions. Islam fears blind obedience, without understanding. Question 3. Who is Allah? Is he different from the God of Jews and Christians? Answer. Allah is not a different God. Allah simply means the one God in Arabic. The same word Arab Christians still use today. Islam teaches radical monotheism. God is one. God is eternal. God is not born. God does not die. God does not become human. This concept removes confusion. No blood sacrifice. No inherited sin. No divine favoritism. You stand before God as an individual, responsible, accountable, equal. Question 4. Why does Islam reject the Trinity? Answer. Because Islam insists God must remain logically consistent. Can the infinite become finite? Can the Creator enter creation? Can God die and still be God? Islam respects Jesus, deeply calling him Messiah, born miraculously, a sign of God. But Islam refuses to turn a prophet into God, not out of disrespect but out of clarity. Question 5. Is Muhammad PBUH last prophet? Answer. In Islam, Muhammad PBUH is considered the last prophet, based on the Quranic verse. Muhammad is not the father of any of your men, but he is the messenger of Allah and the last of the prophets. Quran 33-40. This belief is rooted in several points. Asterisk Quranic. Declaration asterisk. The verse above explicitly states, Muhammad PBUH is the last of the prophets Khatama Nabiyyin. Asterisk's completion of revelation asterisk. Islam teaches that the Quran is the final revelation, and Muhammad PBUH was sent to all humanity, implying no need for further prophets. Asterisk prophetic tradition. Asterisk. Hadiths, sayings of Muhammad PBUH, also affirm he is the final prophet. Muslims believe this finality ensures the Quran's timeless guidance and Muhammad's PBUH role as a universal messenger. Question 6. Why does Islam have strict rules? Answer. Because freedom without boundaries destroys itself. Islam doesn't regulate to control it, regulates to protect wealth from exploitation, family from collapse, desire from addiction, power from tyranny. Modern society removed limits and now struggles with depression, broken families, death, slavery, and identity confusion. Islam didn't promise pleasure, it promised balance. Question 7. Does Islam oppress women? Answer. Then why did Islam grant women inheritance, consent in marriage, divorce rights, and financial independence? 1400 years ago, when women were property elsewhere, Islam doesn't measure worth by skin, wealth, or gender. It measures worth by character and consciousness of God. Yes, Muslims sometimes fail women, but Islam never did. Judge Islam by its teachings, not by those who violate them. Question 8. Why is hijab required? Answer. Because Islam values dignity over display. Modern society says, show more to be valued. Islam says, you are valuable without showing anything. Hijab is not silence. Hijab is not oppression. Hijab is identity, autonomy, and resistance against objectification. True empowerment is choosing purpose over pressure. Question 9. Does Islam promote intolerance? Answer. Islam recognizes difference as divine design. The Quran says, diversity exists so humans may know one another, not dominate one another. Islam historically protected Jews and Christians under law while Europe expelled or slaughtered minorities. Tolerance doesn't mean agreeing, it means coexisting with justice. Question 10. Why does Islam claim to be the final truth? Answer. Because Islam sees itself not as a new religion, but the completion of one message delivered through Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. One God, one moral code, one accountability. Islam claims finality not to dominate, but to preserve truth from distortion. Question 11. Is the Quran really preserved? Answer. Name another book memorized word for word by millions across continents and changed for 1400 years. The Quran was preserved through memorization and writing simultaneously, not revised, not voted on, not edited by councils. A living miracle, not a museum artifact. Question 12. Why does Islam talk so much about the afterlife? Answer. Because a world without accountability becomes a playground for the powerful. Islam reminds humanity, no injustice goes unnoticed. No tear is wasted. No crime escapes consequence. Justice delayed is not justice denied, when God is the judge. Question 13. Is Islam compatible with modern life? Answer. Islam isn't anti-modern, it's anti-moral decay. Technology changes. Human nature doesn't. Islam addresses the human condition at fashion trends. Question 14. Why do Muslims seem divided then? Answer. Because Muslims are human. Division doesn't disprove truth. It proves free will. Christianity, Judaism, secularism all face internal conflict. Truth doesn't disappear because people fail to live up to it. Question 15. Why is Islam growing despite criticism? Answer. Because people are reading, not reacting. Despite media portrayal, Islam is the fastest growing faith through conversion, not birth rates alone. People aren't joining Islam emotionally, they're joining it intellectually. Final question climax. If Islam was false, why does it survive every attack? Why does it convert critics? Why does it produce clarity in a confused world? Closing statement. Islam doesn't demand blind faith, it demands honest questioning. Scrutinize it, challenge it, test it, because truth doesn't fear scrutiny, only falsehood does. Final conclusion is that Islam is the one and only religion in the entire history that gives answers logically, and it makes a last universal religion for the humanity to seek true path or guidance.